Hey guys, we're here in Fantasyland for the next installment of our video series of tips, secrets, and just fun things in general around the Disneyland Resort Park. Fantasyland, I think, different than the last few of the videos, and if you haven't checked those out, please do, because we've kind of done these in a sequence. Fantasyland to me is much more about kind of finding the cuteness more than maybe the efficiency tips, although there's a couple of those maybe, or even the history. A lot of the stuff here is just finding a lot of the cute kind of neat things. Again, like Frontierland, it's a really rich land with a lot of history to it as well, but I think some of the things that stand out the most is kind of these unique fun things to share with people. Come to just some of the fun little things and cute little nods to upping the experience, I guess, especially for those that maybe are Disney animation fans. You know, this is obviously the center of the park for those people, which are most Disney fans, I'd say. So we're going to go ahead and take a look around, find some things. As with all of this series of videos, please share in the comments below secrets or tips that for Fantasyland that we're leaving out, because as with all of the ones, if you've watched the previous videos, there's a lot of things we're going to leave out on purpose. We're not going to make this a several-hour video, so just going to hit on some of our favorite ones, but please share some of yours as well as we go. So let's go take a look around. All right, starting out our cute trip around Fantasyland is the organ here behind Dumbo. This is something you hear play periodically. It's obviously quite loud there, but wanted to kind of move up close so you can see the figurine there if that's something you've not checked out before. But it's really cool, this little back area here with the Dumbo organ, Dumbo himself kind of appearing out the back. Obviously, as you can see here, it's a pretty busy day at the park, but there's usually a lot of seating back here as well, which is another nice little kind of secret or tip to hang out. It's just a pretty area, as well as kind of the connections to the old rock over here, being way back to the old pirate ship and the Skull Rock there. So it's kind of a fun little historical part of the park that's often neglected as people kind of run across that midway right past the Carousel. Not many take the time to come back here, check out the organ, listen to the music, and take in where it's all emanating from. So it is frequently being worked on, so it's not always operational. So, you know, don't be surprised if you come and check it out and it's down. But in general, if you can catch it while it's playing, it is a fun little extra for Fantasyland. And speaking of crowded, as you can see, Snow White, not often that you see the line out the door there, but it is today. But one thing you can catch just from the ground, and this is, I think, a really commonly known one, but it's one good enough that you want to make sure is there. She is the Queen, peering down periodically throughout the day and the night. At night it has a nice little color to it as well, or lighting in the background that's cool to see. The other thing, so up towards the front here, there is the apple and the book, and the witch doesn't really want you touching that apple, so if you do, and it seems all these people going through right now kind of know the secret, little sound effects will go off and things like that. It's a little bit of a germ infestation with so many people touching it throughout the day, but it is kind of fun, especially for kids, to get the sound effect and all that. So make sure to show them, again, up and the very beginning of that cue. All right, next up on our tour of Fantasyland is the Carousel. It is obviously an awesome centerpiece to the land, but one thing that a lot of people don't know is that each of the horses was named by the designers, and so it's a little bit of hidden history there that can be fun for really advanced or intricate fans, or even for kids. You can also see Jingle going by there. That may be the horse most commonly referred to or known. Many will talk about Jingles, and so if you've ever wondered about that, you can catch her coming right around the corner there. The other thing over here is at Mr. Toad's, especially for the Sherlock fans, there's a fun little nod in there. If you pay attention as you're going through the queue and then into the ride, there's a lot of neat things to see, but one in particular is the silhouette of Sherlock Holmes in one of the windows. And so although obviously Sherlock Holmes is not a Disney character, it doesn't hurt to have the nod there. We'll talk about another character that's definitely not Disney that gets a nod in a little bit, but that's always kind of the most fun, I think, as cool as hidden Mickeys are, and those are fun. finding hidden non-Disney characters, I think, is even a little bit more fun. There's a really great one over in DCA as well, so definitely check that out in Mr. Toad's Wild Ride. All right, next up we move over to the Mad Hatter hat shop over here, and I don't want to really spoil this one, but I do want to say that the Mad Hatter is famous for one of the characters hidden in here, the Cheshire Cat. And if you come in and watch that mirror there for a while, you may find a very cool special guest. Okay, so the Matterhorn, I think just about anybody that's ever visited the park has heard the mythology and about the or the myth, I should say, behind the basketball court. And so there is a basketball court that's, I believe, about 2/3 of the way up there. There's a lot of different rumors as to why it's there. That's not really, though, what I want to focus on here, because I think the really cool thing is actually that the Matterhorn is the first tubular roller coaster in the world. And I think it's just something that's neat. You know, the basketball court, that is cool. I'd love to see it someday. Don't know that that will ever happen, but it's a fun little story. But I think what's even cooler is kind of just the contribution to roller coaster history, because obviously Disneyland is not really known as at the forefront of roller coasters. But the fact that they contributed that way back when to you know, the world as that type of inclusion in the roller coaster world, I just think it's kind of a fun little thing and gives you something different maybe to talk about or know about it outside of just the basketball court. Next up, right here behind us, turn around here, we've got Storybook. And one cool thing about Storybook, I mean, there's a lot of cool stuff to see in Storybook, but one thing as far as a suggestion or tip, it really is a roll of the dice. It's very difficult to time it exactly correct. But if you are able to time a trip on Storybook Land when the fireworks are going off, you could end up with one of the best views ever. And I say that because firsthand that happened to us. It happened to us by accident. We tried one other time and we timed it, and that time we had mixed results. They weren't the best view ever. One of us had our view blocked pretty good by some trees. So not that it always works, but if you are able to time it, there is nothing like seeing the fireworks explode in the air above you as you are sitting in such an enchanted place on one of the little boats. They do stop the boat once the fireworks come, so be prepared. Make sure to use the restroom. But I think if you're a fairly consistent fan of Disneyland, it's definitely worth the check-in one time. So roll the dice, see what happens, see what your experiences are with it, and then maybe worth giving it a try a few times. It's a Small World has a lot of little secrets and fun things in there, but the two that kind of are my favorites, one is midway up the Eiffel Tower is the Mary Blair doll. And so if you're not familiar with Mary Blair, Google her, but she is a major contributor to Disney and to Small World particularly, and she's there with her red balloon, and it's just a really fun little inclusion there. Again, even for people that may not be as hardcore Disney fans, I think it's a fun thing to share that, you know, if you look into her work and the fact that she's represented in that way. The other one, kind of teased earlier, but just at the very end of the ride where there's the various postcard and stamps and things like that, look very closely there and you will find a very famous Peanuts character, obviously not Disney, Charlie Brown, sitting in there kind of peering out at you. And it's just kind of a fun little nod to another famous and iconic group of characters with Charlie Brown appearing in It's a Small World, and it kind of fits in with the theme, right? It is a small world after all. If we come about over here and across the way, right before Toontown, just wanted to point out by the theater over here, there is a great set of bathrooms. So nothing cute about that, just practical. But right here behind the stand, there's a set of restrooms there. Unique in some ways, the men's room, there's lots of stalls. It's not usually crowded. It's usually very clean, even cleaner than most for Disney standards. It's a really solid place. If you've got a family, need to take a bathroom break and a rest break, lots of trees over there as well, a snack bar and all of that. So it's kind of a good area to take a break before maybe heading into Toontown or maybe on to Tomorrowland, going on the other way down there. So I hope you enjoyed these tips, secrets, fun stuff, particularly cute stuff for Fantasyland. As I said at the top of the video, and as we've said in all of our videos leading up to this, if you're watching the series, you know the goal is not to break down every single tip, trick, secret of the park, but just to share some of our favorite ones. And again, make it a living document. Lots of things to change at Disneyland all the time. time. As you can see right now, it's in refurb here at Small World. That will come down, and stuff's just changing all the time, and we'll update these videos, but we want the channel to be kind of a living document, and so that way you can go on there, leave comments for things that maybe have changed since we recorded this, or if there's anything I got incorrect, definitely add your thoughts there, and most particularly add anything exciting to you that you think should have been included in the video, and we'll review it for obviously version 2.0 when we revisit these tips videos down the line. So thank you for following along with us in Fantasyland. We'll be heading into Toontown next, so until next time, we'll see you in line somewhere.